Um, Initial entry training. Entry Soldier Handbook, Chapter 1, General Subjects, Tradoc Spam 604, 111 Army History. Resolved that the General be appointed to all Continental Forces raised or to be raised for the defense of American liberty. The above resolution of the Second Continental Congress on June 14th, 1775, established in the beginnings of the United States, the U.S. as we know it today. The new resolution, unanimous, selected by George Washington in his command of the General of the First Continental Army for the Lexington and Trent Valley Forge Continental Army, provide critical in fighting and winning the War of American Independence. So see the Declaration of Independence for extracts beneath the military quotient section. The Army has been the keeper of the American freedom ever since. For the outside civilian control, the military was governed principle of the American system. In 1787, the Constitution placed the military under the control of the President. It has the role of the commander in the chief and requires a soldier to follow and obey his orders. In 1789, the Congress created the Department of War to administrate the military forces. Army, now under the direction of the new created cabinet, remained at a strength of 60,000 or less at the end of the Revolution through the beginning of the Civil War. Although the Congress initiated the regular army, served only in supplemental local militias. The regulars ultimately played the crucial role in War of 1812, Mexican War, 1846 and 48. In the December of 1860, the Army consisted merely of 16,000 officers enlisted. By 1865, the Civil War expansion increased the number astounding to 1 million. Victory of the Union in Civil War returned to the Army in strength of 25,000, only 25,000 troops. An analysis of Army role of the Spanish-American War revealed deficiencies of war development. After becoming Secretary of War in 1899, the Aluja route reorganized and revitalized department. By the time it entered the war in 1917, it was the peak of the training professional. Over 2 million men followed General John R. Pershing to the France as part of the Army Expeditionary Force. Following the victory of the war to end all wars, the Army remained at the strength of approximately 125,000 from 1919 to 1999. However, the Nazi Germany invaded the forces of 1940. The U.S. government reinstated the conscription of the draft. The force ballooned to 1,640,000. Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor on 7th December 1949. During the early 1940, 8,300,000 men and women were part of the global effort to claim the victory of World War II. From the practice of Pacific Theater to the bloody battles of the Philippines and the D-Day invasion in Normandy. On the 6th of June in 1944, American forces fought the courage to preserve the freedom for the world. Following the fall of the Nazis, the surrenders of the Japanese, and in August 1945, the Army again contracted the type of strength approximately 500,000, and expansion followed during the American participation in the Korean and Vietnam Wars. Is reduced to the size during the interim period of the peace. The Army retained relatively large due to looming presences of the Cold War. When the Commission fell in later 1980s, the civilian leaders began to reevaluate the arms rule, again with a dramatic reduction in size. In 1991, the Army claimed a major victory in Desert Storm, defeating the Iraqi force. It is the fourth largest enemy in the world within 100 hours, liberating the country of Kuwait, and the Army had crucially role in bringing peace to many areas conflicting in the world, as well as continuing protecting the advances Army interest in through 1990s. The deadly terrorists of 9/11/2001 on the U.S. brought the Army to the new era of global warfare against terrorism. The person in states which so purported the attacks of the nation in Afghanistan, the Taliban reign of terror was overthrown by Operation Enduring Freedom. During Operation Iraqi Freedom, the Army defeated the Iraqi forces, completing the ending regime of Saddam Hussein. In the two countries, the Army containing the efforts to restore the stability, establish democracy, no more than how the Army changed or when the specific mission may be. The soldier's role never changed to support, defend, the soldiers never changed to support and defend the Constitution of the U.S. against all enemies, foreign and domestic. 1-2 Army Heritage Tradition. The Army Song. The Army Goes Rolling Along is the official Army song. The words are shown in Table 1 and with the place in the proper standing and attention, knowing that the original Cassian song, the music was composed in 1908 by Lieutenant Edmond L. Gruber, who eventually rose to the grade of Brigade General. The Army dedicated the official Army song on 11th November 1957 to the veterans. Army rolls along. As it is braided safely, there is the song. We march along, sing our song. We are the free command. Count of the brave, count of the true, who have the foot to victory. We are the Army, proud of our name. We are the proud, complete proclaim. First fight for the right to build the nation's right. The Army goes rolling along. Produce all we do on fighting all the battles won, and Army goes rolling along. This is the hit. This is the high. This is a high. This is a hey. This is an Army on its way. Counting the cadence loud and strong. 2 and 3, 4, wherever we go. Whether we always know the Army goes along. Second chorus: Valley Forge, Custer, Ranks, San Juan Hill, Pontoon tanks. An Army went rolling along. Men from the start, always fighting for the heart, and the Army keeps rolling along. Refrain: this is the high, this is the high, this is the hay, the Army's on its way. Count of the cadence loud and strong. 2 and 3, 4, wherever we go, we always know the Army goes rolling along. Men in third chorus: men in rags, men in furrows, still in the Army met its foes. Army went rolling along. Faith in the God, then we're right, then and well right with the Army all our might. As the Army keeps it rolling along. The high, and the Army's on its way. Recount of the cadence loud and strong. 2 and 3, for where we go, you will always know the Army goes a rolling along. Uniforms. Military uniforms identify military units in the 19th century. Different military organizations brightly colored clothing and distinguished themselves on the battlefield. This made it easier for commander to control his forces as the weapons became lethal. Survivability has become more crucial today. Army military uniforms emphasize protection, coloration. Army maintained heritage historical uniforms through the formal attire such as dress blues. Formation: similar uniform formations for the roots of the organization. Fighting and the commander hold exercise control of the faces. The Greek phalanx was one of the first formations achieved the effects of mass combat with the shields and support organization movement establishing camaraderie. Napoleon is probably the most notable historical figure who mastered the use of the flanks like formation and like uniforms. However, the new weaponry changing tactics, modern way formation as soon as the wedge, or such as a wedge, emphasized survivability maneuver opposite to the sheer mass. The Army carries the tradition of Napoleonic form of drill ceremony, organization flags, and guidons. Every military has its own colors. Color represents the heart of the unit and are always located on the commander. Uses the receive streamers for the achievement at the guidon above the colors capture the unit. Colors represent the defeating unit. The history of throughout the history of the fought the death to protect the colors, the American image of the American flag accompanying George Washington to be crossing the Delaware River signifies the importance of color of the battlefield from the national symbol down in the company guidon. Figure 1-1, General Washington crossing the Delaware River. 1-3, Army organizations. Active Army Reserve component. The U.S. Army maintains two parts: the active Army, the reserve component. The Army active consists of soldiers who will serve on full-time active duty. The reserve component consists of Army National Guard and U.S. Army Reserve. The reserve component receives the military training as is ready to be called on active duty as necessary. Army unit organizations. Army unit organized in several ways. Of the following example: typical, the squad is the smallest, consisting of 8 to 10 soldiers. The squad leader is non-commissioned officer. An NCO. The platoon includes a platoon is a 2 lieutenant, 1 second class and first class lieutenant, platoon sergeant and sergeant first class. Two more squads. The company includes the company. Well, the company includes the company commander, captain. For this sergeant, first sergeant, 2 major platoons. 2 or more squads. The company commander, first sergeant, is 2 or more platoons, and a platoon is 2 or more squads, and a squad is 8 to 10. So the battalion includes the battalion commander, the LTC, um, the battalion commander, LTC, his staff, the headquarters, the command sergeant, the CSM, and the approximately 3 to 5 companies. The brigade includes the brigade commander, COL, colonel, command of the sergeant major, headquarters of approximately 3 to 6 battalions. The division structure of the capstone element of the Army includes that their maneuver Army infiltrates the brigades as several combat supports serve as the brigade battalions as shown in Table 1-1 of the current 10 active divisions, each command of the Major General. Here you see the active U.S. Army Division, the 1st Infantry in Germany, the 2nd Infantry in Korea, the 3rd Infantry at Fort Stewart, Virginia, 4th Infantry at Fort Hood, Texas, 10th Mountain Division, Fort Drum, New York, 25 Infantry Division, Scottsfield Barracks, Hawaii, 82nd Airborne Division, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, 101st Airborne, Fort Campbell, Kentucky, 1st Armed Division, Germany, headquarters, 1st Cavalry Division, Fort Hood, Texas. Organizations higher than the division include more major Army Corps, Army in times of war or in the theater. 1-4 Chain of Command. Your chain of command has legal responsibility for the training of the discipline. Overall war welfare includes the NCO directly over you for the first line supervisor to your company, to your company, battalion, brigade, division commanders, and the civilian charge for the authorized Army actions, always Commander-in-Chief, the President of the United States. Complete the names individuals in your chain of command in Table 1-2. Memorize the names and grades and positions. This is my chain of command: first line supervisor, company commander, battalion commander, brigade commander, division post commander, TRADOC commander, chief of staff of the Army, secretary of the Army, secretary of defense, President of the United States. Fill in the names. Non-commissioned officer NCO support channel. The NCO support will not directly part you on a chain of command. Often the important includes the NCO platoon sergeant, the platoon sergeant PSG, and the first sergeant and command sergeant major, CSM, who plays a vital role in your unit. Complete the names of the individual, the NCO support channel in Table 1-3. Memorize the names and grade and the position. Squad leader, platoon, first sergeant, battalion, command sergeant, brigade command sergeant, division post brigade command sergeant, TRADOC command sergeant, sergeant major of the Army. 1/6 of the grade insignia. You must be able to recognize the grades of the Army personnel immediately. Officers of the highest rank, officers of 5-star general of the Army, lowest officers of the grade at 2nd lieutenant and 001. Figure shown in the officer grades of the insignia address the personnel of the grade general, the general last name, regardless of the number of stars. Address colonels, lieutenant colonels, address colonels, 06, lieutenant colonels, 05, a colonel last name, a major, 04, and a captain's 03. Last name. Address both second lieutenants and first lieutenants, 02, and his lieutenant is last name. General Army is a silver black star subdued, 5-star general, silver and black subdued is 4-star general, lieutenant general, major, 2-star general, brigade general, 1-star general, colonel, Iron Eagle, silver and black subdued, lieutenant colonel, major, golden brown subdued, leaf, captain, double bar, first sergeant, blah bar, silver, black subdued, second lieutenant, gold or brown subdued. Warrant officer, the highest ranking warrant officer grade of the chief of warrant 5, the CW, the lowest warrant officer WO. Warrant officer WO1. Figure 1-3 shows the warrant officer's grade and the insignia. Address the warrants, the major last name and Mrs. last name. You see the warrant officer's insignia, warrant officer 1, 2, 3, 4, and CWS, Chief Warrant 5. Insignia. The highest enlisted grade of the Sergeant Army Sergeant Major is E9. The lowest grade of the private is E1. Figure 1-4 shows an enlisted grade of the insignia addresses the privates as E1, E2, privates the first class E3, and private last name. Address specialist E4, specialist last name. Sergeant E5, the staff sergeant in Staff Sergeant E6, Sergeant First Class E7, Major Master Sergeant E8, and the Sergeant last name. Address the First Sergeant and the First Sergeant last name. Address the Strength Major of E9, Sergeant Major last name. 3 stripes, 2 bottom under, and a symbol of the colonel's leaf is the Sergeant Major of the Army, and crown commanded 3 stripe, 3 bottom stripe, command Sergeant Major. Sergeant Major star, 3 up stripes, 3 under stripes, first stripe diamond, first sergeant, 3 stripes up, 3 stripes down, diamond in the SPF, the E3. Master Sergeant E3 stripes up, and the Private E3 3 stripes down. Sergeant First Class 3 stripes up, 2 stripes down. E3 Staff Sergeant E3 2 stripes up. Sergeant 3 stripes, 2 stripes. Corporal Specialist E4 Specialist patch. Private E3 insignia. Private E2 stripe, and none for Private E1. Grade abbreviations in Table 1-4. Grade abbreviations: GEN for General, LTG for Lieutenant General, MG for Major General, Brigade General, BG Colonel, COL, Lieutenant Colonel, LTC, Major, MAJ, Captain, CPT, First Lieutenant, L1LT, Second Lieutenant, 2 LTs, Chief Warrant Officer, CW, Warrant Officer, WO, Enlisted CSM, Command Sergeant Major, SGM, First Sergeant, First at 1SG, Master Sergeant, MSG, Sergeant First Class, SFC, Sergeant, Staff Sergeant, SSG, Sergeant, SGT, Sergeant, CPL, Corporal, Specialist, SPC, Private First Class, PFC, PVT, Private E2, Private PVT, Private 1-7 military time. As military service time by using 1 to 24 for the hours during the day and the days of the beginning other than midnight, and ends the night midnight as the same day. For example, 8 minutes after midnight is 1200 hours. 3 times minutes after 2 o'clock after the minute 2:33 p.m. is written as 14:3300 hours. Shown in time version chart. Showed civilian military time equivalents. 1-6 civilian military equivalents. 100 hours. Sorry. 0-100 hours and 1. I don't really know how to read the second hand. 100 hours, 200 hours, 300 hours, 400 hours, 500 hours, 600 hours, 700 hours, 800 hours, 900 hours, 10, 11, 1100 hours, 12 o'clock noon, 1200 hours. 1 p.m. 1300 hours, 2 p.m. 1400 hours, 3 p.m. 1500 hours, 1400 hours, 1600 hours, 500 p.m. 5 p.m. 1700 hours, 6 p.m. 1800 hours, 7 p.m. 1900 hours, 8 p.m. 2000 hours, 9 p.m. 2100 hours, 10 p.m. 2200 hours, 11 p.m. 2300 hours, 2359, 2300 hours, 59 past midnight, 100 hours. Saluting. The original hand salute is unnecessary. The original hand salute is uncertain. Some historians believe that in light of the Roman assassinations were coming, and the citizens who wanted to see the public officials had to approach to see the right raised on the show that how they didn't hold their weapon. Knights of Army raised their visors of the right hand while meeting on the comrade. The practice gradually becomes a showing of respect. In earlier American hand history sometimes involved removing the hat and the motion modified and touching the hat, and since then it became a hand salute used today. During the time of the Army, the use salute show the respect toward the officer, flag, and or country. The proper way to salute or without a weapon is described in Field Manual 3-21-5, paragraph 4.4. The rules of saluting are as follows. When the meet of someone outside the saluting is shown, as soon as to recognize that he or she officers. If you are walking toward the officer, wait until about 6 steps away. Salute all officers recognized by the grade of the official vehicles identified by special plates and flags. Salutes only on command when in formation. In group of the officers approach the first soldier recognized officer calls the group attention to all personnel salute. If you approach the officer while you are in double time alone, assume the quick time march, render the hand salute while the salute is returned, executed orders, resume the double time and the salute initiated for the subordinate. When the salute is always initiated, subordinate terminated over only after acknowledgement. Individual saluted. Accompanying the salute with the appropriate greeting is such as good morning, afternoon, sir, or ma'am. Salutes are not required to be rendered to personnel who are driving on riding privately owned vehicles. It is not customary for enlisted personnel to exchange salutes except for some ceremonial situations. Never render a salute with a noticeable object within your mouth or the right hand. This includes the cell phone items that distract from the military bearing. If your detail and officer approaches you, salute you in the charge of the detail, otherwise continue the work when spoken and come into the position of the attention addressing the officer. The hand salute. The hand salute is one count of the movement and the command of the present arms. The hand salute may be executed while marching. When marching, only the soldier in charge of the formation of the salute acknowledges the salute. When doubling time, an individual soldier may quick time for the saluting. When wearing headgear with a visor with or without glasses, command to execution of arms raised, the right short fingers extended joined and palm facing down, and placing the tip of the right forefinger on the rim of the visor slightly to the right of the eye. The outer edge of the hand is barely canted downward near the back, and the hand nor the palm is clear visible from in the front. The hand wrist straight and the elbow including slightly forward upper arm horizontal. When wearing a headgear with the visor uncovered, to note that wearing glasses execute the hand salute in the same manner previously described, except through the tip of the forefinger to the forehead, nearly slightly to the right of the eyebrow. 3. When wearing a headgear, the visor uncovered, wearing glasses execute the hand salute in the same manner previously described. Each touch the tip of the right forefinger with the position on the point of the glasses where the temple pieces of the frame meets the right of the edge of the eyebrow. Order the arms hand salute in one count of the movement and command the orders of the arm and order the execution of arms. Return the hand sharply and resuming the position of the attention. When reporting the rendering courtesy to the individual, turn the head and eyes forward to the person and simultaneously salute. The situation of the actions executed by the command. The salute initiated by the subordinate appropriate time, 6 places terminated upon the acknowledgement. 1-6 hand salute with the visor. 1-7 hand salute with a beret or uncovered. Hand salute with a beret wearing glasses. Rendering honor to the flag of the United States, symbol of the nation, the union of the white stars of the field of the blue, the honor point of the flag, the union of the flag, and the flag itself is when accompanying with other flags. Also give the honor position with the use of the right, which on the right rules of the displaying of the flag follows. The flag of the USA displays outside of the Army installation. Outdoors at the Army installation. Only the one flag of the U.S. is shown and flown at one time in continental United States Army, inspected except for authorized command generals of the major Army commands. The flag is displayed daily from revealed to retreat if the illuminated may not display at night during the special events on special occasions deemed appropriate by the commander. 4. The flag of the U.S. is only the flag from the flagpole of the Army installation, exception of the Minuteman flag that is awarded by flown beneath under the flag of the United States. Unusual circumstance not covered in the Army regulations. Judgment senior Army individual presents to determine whether the flag shall be displayed on specific occasions. The flag shall be raised morning or lowered. Evening stand attention of the first note of the reveille to the colors. The colors refer to the flag of the U.S. and can be included in the unit government. Give the required salute if you are actively involved in the duty. Whether the hampered by a salute, you do not need to salute. You normally face the flag when saluting unless duty requires you face some other direction. At conclusion of the ceremony, resume your regular duties. The flagpole, when the half-staff hoisted in the peak at the top of the flagpole, lowered in the half position at the end of the day. The flag hoisted peak before the lowered half-staff means the lowering flag of the one-half distance between the top of the bottom of the staff. In early days of the country, our regulations existed, but the flying of the flag at the half-staff results that there were many conflict policies. On March 1st, 1954, President Dwight Eisenhower issued a proclamation of the proper times. The flag shall be flown aft at 30 days after the death of the president or a formal president, at a federal buildings, grounds, and naval vessels through the U.S. Army and its territory possessions. The flag is flown half-staff for 10 days. For 10 days after the death of a vice president, the chief justice or a retired chief justice, the U.S. Supreme Court, the Speaker of the and the Speaker of the House of the Representatives. Whether reveal is played, you may not know the information. Note that in a vehicle came into the attention of the first note. Face the flag. We're going to give the required salute. If the flag is near the face of the music and salute, your information salute only the arms of the president. Only on the arms of the president. If you are civilian clothing, sending an attention in place to the right hand over the heart, and the heart applies to the national anthems of the foregoing countries during ceremonies and parades. Words of the national anthem appear beneath the preamble Constitution, Chapter C, Paragraph 112. Vehicles motion should stop. If you are in the car, on a motorcycle, dismount, salute. If you are with a group of military vehicle, bus, remain vehicle, individual charge, and the dismount, salute. When you pass colors which are presented by paraded or displayed, salute with the colors of the 6 paces from where you are. Salute with the colors are your 6 paces from you. Hold the salute until the colors are 6 paces beyond you. Courtesy, the following rules will help you to conduct yourself appropriately in the present officers of the senior grade. When talking to an officer, stand at attention unless given an order, at ease when dismissed. When the officer departs, come to attention and salute. When the officer enters, the first soldier to recognize the officer or the personnel in the room action does not salute. When the soldier reports to the in order to render the salute of the officer. C. When accompanying a senior, walk on his left. D. When entering or exiting a vehicle, the junior grade person is the first to enter. The senior grade is the first to exit. When the officer enters the dining facility, unless he directs otherwise, more senior officers are already present. The diners will be given the order to at ease. The first person who sees the officer, you will remain seated as ease and will continue to eat unless the officer directs otherwise. If you are directly addressed, you should rise to the attention when seated in a chair. If you seated on a bench, stop and eating and sit at attention until conversation ends. The officer of a non-commissioned officer or non-commissioned officer may give the directive carry on. This means the soldier shall continue Soldiers should continue whether they were doing previously. The same directive is used in many other situations outside the formation, such as barracks, break areas. Um, when the outside approach of the non-commissioned officer, you should stand when seated. The greater non-commissioned greet the non-commissioned officer by saying "Good morning, Sergeant." After the noon, Sergeant. Good evening, Sergeant. Last name, if known. When you report the officer for the reason important to them, make a good first impression. If the orders of the approach of the officers when you are reporting or stop through from and assuming the position of attention, give the proper salute. Say that, for example, Sir, Man, Private Smith reports. If your enters in the same procedure to above, except the remove from headgear before reporting. However, if you are armed, do not remove your headgear. Role of the chaplain. Each battalion army has its own chaplain, normally a captain. The chaplain has its assistance from the unit ministry team. The chaplain is responsible for providing spiritual support to every soldier in the unit. All chaplains are part of the particular domination of the mission to ensure the spiritual needs of every soldier is met. B. The chaplains hold weekly services while in garrison in the field, are available individual counseling, and are two members of the military, the retaining privilege of confidentiality, the other being the Army lawyers. And the chaplain also plays a key role in helping promote the program such as suicide prevention. The initial entry training environment, chaplains are particularly valuable in helping the soldiers keep them succeed under difficult, stressful conditions. The assistant commander teaching, displaying, and instilling in the Army values, maintaining high moral within the unit. Each of the following levels of our Army organization has its own chaplain. Chaplain grades at the brigade level it would be a major, a lieutenant, LTC. The division of the LTC is installed colonel, the chief, and the install of the colonel. The chief of the chaplains of the major general. The chaplains available for the provide spiritual counseling to all soldiers having resource and counsel and all supports. For example, pamphlets, prayer cards, books, and other religious materials. Quotients can provide inspiration of various times during our lives. See Table 1.6 for inspiration quotes. In war, there is no substitute for victory. General Douglas MacArthur. I have never taken on any command battle or the slightest desire to come out of it alive unless I won. General P.H. Sheridan. Where war is the ugly thing, but not the ugliest thing. The decayed degree to the state of the mind that thinks that there's nothing worth fighting for in the far wars. John Stuart Mill. Plato. One of the dead. Only the dead have seen the end of the war. Plato. Battle of the ultimate of the whose life of the battle of the ultimate in which whose life labor of the soldier should be directed, and he may live in the age of the retirement without seeing a battle. Still he must always getting ready for it, exactly as if he knew the hour of the day is it to break upon. Whether it comes earlier or late, he may be willing to fight. He must fight. Brigadier General Charles F. Smith, 1861. God grants liberty only to those who love it and are always ready to defend it. Daniel Webster. That every nation, whether its wishes was ill, whether it wishes well or ill, they shall pay the price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure survival, success of liberty. President John F. Kennedy. Nathan Hale. I regret I have but one life to lose for my country. President George Washington. To be prepared for war is one of the most effectual means of preserving peace. Extra vigilance is the price of freedom. Thomas Jefferson. Winning is not something you do not to win occasion. You do not do the things right on occasion. You do them right all on time. Vince Lombardi. When duty whispers low the most, you must reply, I can. Ralph Waldo Emerson. When your shot executed to knock down the enemy of the stock of your rifle, if the rifle would stock be broken, bite with your teeth. Russian military reader. You cannot discipline the great things and disciplinary small things. This is the only one thing that sort of discipline, perfect discipline. General George S. Patton, Jr. Eleanor Roosevelt. You're gaining the strength, the courage, and confidence every experience in which they really stop to look at the face to face. You must do this, do the thing that you can do not. Encourage encourage us in our endeavor to live above the common level of life. Help us choose the harder right instead of the easier wrong. West Point Cadet Prayer. Invincibility depends on one of the selves of the enemy's vulnerability on him. Sun Tzu's perpetual optimism in the force of multiplier. General Colin Powell. The Declaration of Independence, followed by the preamble of the Constitution and the Star-Spangled Banner and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and the republic of which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 15. 115 soldiers' family benefits. My Army benefits when the official Army benefits resource the regular Army, the Army National Guard, U.S. Army Reserve family members and retires. Army benefits is your one-stop shop for the latest, most up-to-date benefits information on subject pay, education, family services, healthcare, life insurance, transition of retirement, soldier benefits, casualty by survivor, veteran affairs, Social Security, Army wounded warriors, active duty Army knowledge account holders will log on to the Military Army Benefits U.S. Army Middle section or can produce personalized reports for the defensive enrollment eligibility system data to the calculate the survivor education retirement benefits and annuities, lump sum payments, ed investments, insurance services, group life insurance, SGLI, survivor servicemen's group life insurance, and the use of what-if and capability to see if the impacts of the marriage, have children, and the retiring of the project, data, the grade of the complete the financial picture, ensure that the official's Army's link provided above the commercial sources. TRICARE, medical care. The TRICARE is the Department of Defense healthcare program, military equivalent to the medical insurance provider. Active duty is automatically enrolled in the program, receive full medical benefits and primary care provider at a local military facility. Active duty full faculty member retires under the age of 65, also eligible medical coverage. Your family are eligible the first date of you enter the Army. Sponsors must enroll the first members in the program. The local health benefits advisors. The most important way you need to ensure that you have enrolled the family out of the order to receive the medical care, you must choose the TRICARE program, TRICARE Prime. At active duty, the soldiers automatically enrolled in the TRICARE Prime. They have no choice. Most sponsors choose the program to the family members. TRICARE Prime is similar to the HMO, Health Maintenance Organization. You and your family members are assigned to the primary care manager. Usually the closest military facility will administer the medical needs. Your primary care manager will refer to the specialist as necessary. The great advantage of TRICARE Prime is the most medical expenses paid for. However, you must visit the primary care manager first of all for all health care issues. TRICARE Standard. With TRICARE Standard, you are able to choose upon your civilian doctor. However, you must pay a yearly deductible, approximately $100 per person, as well as 20% of the medical expenses. TRICARE Extras. With TRICARE Extra, we may select a list of TRICARE participating civilian doctor. You are responsible for 15% of all medical expenses below, or fill a common asked question to the TRICARE. I am a basic training soldier. My families are not in there and now within medical care in the hometown. 1. Answer the enrolled TRICARE Prime is available area to the may seek the TRICARE Extra, TRICARE Standards. The most important step to talk to the local health benefits advisor to get family enrolled into your program of choice. The question where the cost to enroll the family in the TRICARE Prime. There is no cost to active family due to enrollment. TRICARE Prime. This may be made modest for a patient status of the civilian hospital. Approximately $10 per day cost to share. The revert to civilian doctor approximately $6 per day. If your family are away from the local doctor, however, do you receive medical care? Answer 3. An emergency, threat to life, lameness, eyesight, broken bones. Simply go to the nearest medical, civilian, or military. If there's no emergency, contact the primary care manager for approval. Civilian doctor that makes it important to keep the primary care manager phone number with you when you are leaving and away from the military, your normal military post. Dental coverage, active duty receives full dental or orthodontic care through military providers. However, services may not be available for family members or dental care not included as part of the TRICARE. You may enroll the family members in separate dental insurance programs through the local personnel action, the PAC. The insurance costs approximately 8 to 20 bucks per month, depending on the number of family health members you have. It covers the regular cleanings as well as provided partial payment, otherwise proceeds surgery, legal benefits, judge, advocate, general services, staff judge, advocate. Each army is available to assist the soldier in legal matters such as drafting a will, the power of attorney. Filing claims against the government for damaged properties, general legal questions, trial, defense services. In the event of the encounter of legal or property programs during your military career, the Army provides defensive attorneys at no cost. You will help understand your rights, ensure that they afford the process. Trial defense services as a local post to assist the soldiers with issuing concerning chapters removal from the Army and non-judicial punishments under the Article 15 of the U.S. Code of the Military Justice, other than more serious uniform code is the military justice offenses and court martials. While they give limited advice, the trial defenses does not provide legal assistance from military supervised civilian court. Service of the group of the life insurance, the CGLI. CGLI provides a term of the insurance policy. Soldiers on active automatically insured for the maximum of $400,000 unless declined reduce the coverage of the cost of a sergeant service group of life insurance is deducted for the paycheck each month unless otherwise stated in writing that you don't want the insurance. Family members are insured by the service groupman life insurance up to $100,000 in coverage cost and dependent on their age. Cover the smaller quantities available for lower monthly rates. Service group life insurance will be excluded from will be executed the 1st of March 2009 via the Defense Integrated Military Human Resource System DIMHRS. The self-service of the service group life insurance is an excellent program for the military personnel. It is available at low cost based on any other survivor benefits. Ensures the designated survivor will receive compensation even if in the event of the result of combat or high risk military duties. Housing. On post housing, the Army provides governmental quarters for the housing allowance for all soldiers. Single soldiers normally live on a post for the unit housing area of the bachelor's and enlisted quarters. Those graded as sergeant first class above choose the life post of the permission of the commander. Soldiers in pay grade E4 and 2 more years of service in the pay grades E5 above the family member are eligible for government-owned controlled family housing. Installation of adequate quarters assigned to the housing as soon as possible. If the housing is immediately available, you will be placed on a waiting list and you must find out the post accommodations. Off-post housing. If you live off-post, you will receive a basic allowance of a quarter based on your grade. Based on your grade, the money intended for the pay, approximately 80% of the cost of the rent and the utilities, and more than you will receive the variable housing allowance amount depending on the cost of the unit housing in the area. For example, soldiers stationed in Washington, D.C. receive a greater variable housing allowance for one station, Fort Benning, Virginia, because of living in D.C. Our area costs more living than near Columbus, Georgia. The combination of allowance of quarters variable housing allowance is caused by basic allowance of the housing. BH is not tax income while filing federal income taxes. Army, Air Force, Exchange Services, and Commissionary. Army and Air Forces Exchange Service. The exchange is similar to the department store. There are no state sales tax exchanges on exchanges of items. Prices are often very reasonable. You may purchase the item personally used for a gift, but not buy the item for resale. As long as the active retired special reserve duty family member, you may have a military exchange of the faculties. Some of the overseas facility, commissionary, supermarket. You have used all material military personnel for the family members. Commissionary usually sell food at a lower price to the civilian store, particularly overseas. The government appropriates money to the commissioners. You can save money and shop in the commissionary. Leave is awarded in the pay rate of one and a quarter per per day and DIMHRS. Subject to the approval of the chain of command and the requirements of the unit's mission, you can use the leave of the own convenience of the purpose that you choose. If you do not use 30 days of the access to couriers the following the year, if you not use 30 days of access carriers over the following year, not to exceed 60 days. A line on leaving earnings statements or notes you leave. Check this line each month as so how much you leave available. The new soldier will have a few days of leave occurred. In some cases, emergency special circumstances, commanders authorized to advance certain numbers of the day. Army Family Team Building, AFTB. The purpose of the AFTB is increasing the soldier family readiness and in turn and increased mission accomplishment. The Army Family Team Building mission is educated and training all of the Army in knowledge, skills, and behaviors designed to prepare the Army families to move successfully in the future. Of the soldiers' family members are able to help themselves during this time of the stability and deployment. Each installation of the Army Family Team Building within 3 levels. Level 1 focuses on the basic skills knowledge needed in the military life, teaching individuals Army basic how to manage personal affairs, sources of find and assistance and is necessary. Level 2 allows participation growing in the military, growing in the community leader. Level 3 going into the inspiration mentoring of other leadership positions. The Army Phase Team Building can be taken option online at the myarmylife2.com. E1 to E2, the private will automatically advance to E2 after completing up to 6 months of service bearing an adverse legal action. Local commanders may recognize outstanding performance and employing the promotion and promote the privates from PV E2 to after the only 4 months. Promotion waivers are limited in number only after the very best of the soldier E2 to E3 command of the promo, E2 to the 12 months at the time, service more months in the grade of the chain of the command of the recommendation. Promote the waivers for outstanding performance of the availability 6 months at the time and the service for 2 months in the time of the grade. E3 to E4, the eligible and ineligible promotion of the E4 to the 24 months at the time, services 6 months in time in the grade. Commanders may promote chain of command recommendation. Promotion waivers for outstanding performers are available in 18 months in service and 3 months in the time in the grade. E4 to E5. The E4 must go to the local promotion board to gain eligibility advance to the grade 5. The non-commissioned support channel recommendation to reach the promotion point cutoff, the promotion bill, or to test of your number and item. Conclude the leadership components, the basic soldier knowledge, skills, the oral communication skills, personal appearance, bearing, self-confidence. When you succeed in promotion board, the NCO supports channel will recommend you for promotion based on the Army wide point system, which you will advance to E5 when you have met the promotion point of cutoff for your military operations service. 1116 or 117 managing personnel. If the duties of the soldier fulfill the financial obligations provided by the family members, several key components achieving this task, action of the receiving the paycheck financial system place and meet your needs and linger with the individual servicing the service made by the educational financial decisions. My pay, the soldier can review the appointed leave and the earning statements, thrifts and saving and planning investments, safety deposit statements, allotments, service bonds, purchases, direct amounts by MyPay, dfas.mil/MyPay, Ensure that the official military website only. The SurePay program. The Army requires that all soldiers to enroll the SurePay. The means that you must have paycheck deposit directly into checking the savings account. If you close and change the account, you must ensure that the local PAC File out the proper form to update the SurePay data. The Army will pay only you once per month on the first of each month, twice per month on the 1st and 15th if you choose based on budget requirements. And the DIMA RS takes effect, you will be 2 times a month. You must carefully review your monthly leave and earning statements and ensure that they're being deposited properly. You are receiving the benefits of the base pay, the BAH that you are entitled to. The bank deposit account, some key items and considered with choosing a financial institution at which you keep the direct deposit action. Inquire the monthly service charge of maintaining a checking account. Numerous institutions offer the free checking as long as you have the set up SurePay. Inquire the exchange charges and using the ATM cash withdrawal charges and expenses. Often banks do not charge ATM fees, and local branch does not bank the branches available throughout the U.S. The Army requires frequent moves, and it is important to consider the bank provides service numbers, military installations where it can be stationed. While the local bank may be the best option, you may have to change accounts when you have the permanent change of station moving. Checking and writing maintaining a checkbook will be a critical factor in properly administrating your personal finances. You may pay closely attention to the transaction, ensure that you're always checking the account balances to ensure that you have sufficient funds in the account, and do not write the fraudulent check. The service of consequence for writing a bad check. Your bank institution to which the check was written, it may assess you a service charge of at least $30 each more than if the percentage system based on the amount for the check. The reputation of the credit rating will depending making it difficult, more costly to purchase a car, home, or other items requiring the loan. You could lose a check writing privilege on the post. If you bounce a check on the post, your commander or the first sergeant will receive a notification. You may be reprimanded. Important Eagle Cash Store Value Card. The Store Value Card cash check operates an initial treat any advance and see figure 19 in the picture. The card of the Army, Air Force, and exchange sites, the barbershop, clothing sales, post exchange facilities remain the value expiration to the return soldier. Emphasis to spend on the amount of the prior completion of the time of the training. Encourage advance amounts up to $250 for the males and $300 for females. Value card will expire 40 days after the initial issue of the soldier's recipient battalion. Eagle Stash Corps Store Value Card. Note that on March 2009, the Defense of Integrated Military Human Resources System will be in Army personnel pay, the pair pay system for all components of the active Army, National Guard, and the United States Army Reserve. Fielding the Defensive Integrated Military Human Resource System will provide soldiers improved pay. Personnel operation will create the operational efficiency reduction overall system. The Defensive Integrated Military Human Resource System at the personnel pay is fully integrated in all services, all components, all military personnel pay. This system will support the personnel through the carriers and retirement. Almost done with chapter 1. Leave and earning statements. The leave and earning statements is detailed in statement issued by the end of each month that contains many sections. The leave and earning statement. It can be obtained officially by the MyPay homepage, MyPay at dfas.mil. Entitlements, reductions, allotments, and summary. The column shows the money that have been earned: basic pay, basic allowance, the substance units, basic allowance of housing, possible clothing allowance, family separation, any other special pay, any bottom of the total indication of the sum of all entities of the month. Deductions. These deductions taken for the entitlements, federal taxes, the FIC, Social Security, FAC, Medicare, Sergeant. SGL1's supplemental graded life insurance, the supplemented family supplemented life, soldier gainful life insurance. If you are requested for coverage, dental premiums if requested for the coverage, any other deductions mid-month and will be listed for the deduction for the end of the month. Allotments listed in all allotments you have signed up for that include the insurance, the dental allotments for the request of which coverage summary. The last column is end of the month and the almost listed in the end of the month block of the amount of the deposited on the bank of the day. Equal entitlement minus deduction. The allotments leaves. The leave indicates the amount of leave occurred and earned in current balance of the ETS balance and the use or loss balance. Taxes are labeled in the federal tax, VICA tax, and state taxes include the amount of the deducted tax during the year. Pay data. The section pay attention to the BAQ type. It should be the dependent on your situation. Make sure the variable housing allowance of the zip code is correct for your family's local location. 3. The rates are incorrect. Receiving too much money, it will have the payback. Thrift savings. The thrift saving federal government sponsored retirement savings investment. Other offers saving the tax benefits and private occupations of the employee's 401k and if enrolled with the thrift saving plan rates, deductions, and listed remarks. In the examples, listed remarks are voting information, pay increase amounts, other announcements of defense, finance, and accounting service is leave dates if you take the during the pay period. Allotments information from your bank account, information advance payment, balances, and other information specific individual situation. At J, and additional information you question of the less and incorrect report of the chain of command of the game in PAC. 119. Public affairs, interacting with media. The following provide guidance for the soldier interacting with news media in the field of the garrison or garrison environment. Knowing when you are to talk. Inform the chain of command of individuals representing themselves in the media as the media in your area. To check the ID, press the credentials, then produce identification. Press the credentials. Continue the interview. If not, refer to the individual chain of command of the public affairs representative. Recognize their rights. Soldiers have the right to speak, not to speak to the media. You do not have to answer all questions, or you can control the length of the interview. Your obligation: maintain the operational security, exercise judgment, professionalism, all times. Uniform chains of command and media presence. Departure of the general nature of the question, validation, operational security, ground rules, which became aware. Implemented the guidelines when you speak in the media. Determine whether you want to speak to the media, the amount of the public of the guidance. Soldier media card talking to the points that may have been given to the thing before your answer, and never lie the intentional mislead media. Speaking level, discuss only the things that have been directly responsible for the personal knowledge. Do not answer the speculative. Important questions. Avoid jargon, acronyms, slag, technical. Keep brief. Conquest. Use of I and not we when stating an opinion. If we do not know the answer to the question, if you do not know the answer to the question, cannot discuss a particular reason, for example, operational security, personal privacy, say so. Avoid using no comment and assume that everything you say may be printed or broadcast. Do not discuss details further operations until strength of casualty numbers of the names of the do not discuss details future operations and unit strength casualty numbers of the names of casualties. Determine whether particular in the media interview. Remember, whatever you say to the read worldwide from the hometown of the enemy command post. From prior guidance put out the chain of command, you have the right to express a personal opinion when out of the uniform. You have the right to express your opinion when out of the uniform. When in the uniform, the official representative in the Army. This page is left blank, and we'll be moving on to Chapter 2, Army Values.